In this galaxy, observation is often just a polite word for apathy. The rain fell in steady, grey lines against the viewport of the Liruan Delta station. Inside, the only sound was the hum of machinery, the quiet rhythm of data recorders tracking a planet's endless waterways. Elias Trenor sat before the glass, a man assigned to isolation. His job on I-Release 5 was to document, not to interfere. He mapped the slow decay beneath the colony's shining image, telling himself that watching was enough. But the river, that cold, indifferent artery, delivered an anomaly. A white speck drifted into view. Not wreckage. Too smooth. He zoomed the external cameras. A burial pod, translucent, marked with Aaron ceremony. He knew what it was. The silent farewell. A quiet erasure of those born unfit. A ritual disposal authorities called mercy. We see these rituals everywhere, don't we? Cruelty masked as custom. The pod's trajectory wavered, catching on rocks near the station. A crack spiderwebbed across the casing. Elias's chair scraped the floor. Protocol shattered. He didn't think. He moved. Down the corridor, through the pressure hatch, and into the storm. The cold hit him like a fist, punching the breath from his lungs. He dove. The current pulled, heavy and fast, but the glint of the pod pulled him harder. He reached it, jamming his fingers under the strap. Inside, through the fractured transparency, he saw her, skin of pale green. White hair floating like loose silk. The breathing mask had slipped. Her chest rose, shallow and uneven. Low air. He forced the latch, wedged the mask back into place, and began the agonizing swim back, hooking his arm under her shoulders. He dragged her from the mud onto the landing platform. Her skin was icy. He pressed 2 fingers to her throat. A pulse, faint but there. You're not dying here, he muttered. Inside, he laid her on a cot, wrapping her in his thermal blankets. The medkit scanner confirmed his fears. Spinal conduction severely impaired. Motor response below L2 absent. Paralysis, permanent. Then her eyes opened. Pale teal, luminous in the low light. I was supposed to sink, she whispered, her voice like gravel. There was no fear in it, only exhaustion and a quiet resentment. You shouldn't have touched me. I don't follow your customs, Elias said, his voice flat. You were alive. That's all I needed to know. He turned to the console. The pod's registry tag was encrypted, clan-marked. He knew the procedure. If he filed a rescue report, they would come for her again. This time, there would be no crack in the glass. He made a choice. A single keystroke. Delete. How easy it is to erase a life. How much harder to save one. The rescue log blinked empty. She no longer existed. He brought her water. What's your name? Names are for the living. Then pick one, he said, his tone quiet but firm. Because you still are. He watched her drift into exhausted sleep. Before shutting down his screen, he typed a single line. Observation 00047. Recovery successful. Unknown subject stabilized. The next morning, he decrypted the pod's internal chip. Subject, Lion of House Vesh. Status, released. Ceremonial compliance complete. She was officially a ghost. When she woke, the suspicion remained. You stayed. He fed her, a simple act complicated by her pride and inability. You're not afraid of me, she noted. I'm a Len. Humans avoid us. I'm not most humans, she pressed him. Why are you here? I record things, he lied, then amended, closer to the truth. Maybe I needed something real to record. She trusted him enough to share her story. She wasn't injured in an accident. She was deemed flawed. Lion had been part of a service choir, using vocal resonance, physics, not faith, to balance reactor harmonics. An energy surge, a flood of gamma light, and her spine was severed. They discarded me because I couldn't stand, she said, her voice hollowed of tears. Perfection keeps their world from crumbling. Any flaw is a fracture, a soft chime interrupted them. An external sensor, a sleek silver drone, a ceremonial scanner, was sweeping the riverbank, confirming the ritual site. Lion's breath hitched. You have to let me go. If they find me, my family will be punished. Spiritual contamination. Not happening, he said. Instead, he assembled a makeshift neural stimulation rig. You think you can fix what your kind doesn't even understand? I can try. He placed the pads along her spine. A faint pulse of blue light. Try to move your toes. She stared, focusing every ounce of her will. Nothing. Then, a twitch. Barely a centimeter. Her eyes widened, filling with tears of disbelief. They said, I'd never feel anything again. Then they were wrong, Elias said, the words a sudden, heavy promise. Days blurred into mist and the low hum of the stimulator. As her strength grew, so did their connection. She pushed him, and he finally revealed his own exile. The Dion reactor collapse? He wasn't a data clerk. He was military search and recovery. He had refused to falsify contamination data to protect the authorities, and they had buried him here, sentencing him to silence. I came here to stop watching people die, he confessed. Didn't plan on finding another one floating in my river. Then you failed your plan, she offered. A faint smile. He helped her stand, his hand supporting her weight as her bare feet touched the cold floor. She trembled, leaning heavily against him. I thought it was gone forever. The moment was shattered by another alert. A transport skimmer, expanding the search. The drones returned that night, scanning closer. Elias cut the station's heat, plunging the room into frigid darkness. They waited, invisible, the air turning sharp and cold. Invisible, Lion whispered, her teeth chattering. Like you wanted to be, he managed to smile in the dark. Now it's useful. When the drones passed, the plan changed. We don't hide, Elias said, the words solidifying in the cold. We adapt. You're not a ghost. You're my assistant. She learned to walk in salvaged exoframes, awkward and hissing. She stumbled. He caught her. The proximity was electric. You shouldn't look at me like that, she whispered, her breath warm. Like what? Like I'm a reason to stay. The future arrived too soon. A council skimmer, engines roaring, landed on the gravel. 3 officers entered. An overseer, her face pale jade, all ice and authority. There was an anomaly in the ritual records. Elias delivered the lie. My new aide. Transfer from the Northern Bureau. The overseer was unconvinced. Unusual coloration for a human. She ordered a spectral scan. The soldier advanced. Lion flinched and the movement pulled her hood aside. The light caught her eyes, luminous, unmistakable teal. The overseer froze. Identify yourself. Lion's voice was clear, finding its old resonance. Lion of House Vesh. The room went silent. Then cold fury. Impossible. You have corrupted a sacred process. You have dragged her back into contamination. She was alive, Elias countered. You call that peace? Why design a pod that sustains life for 6 hours if death is the goal? The overseer dismissed the logic. She will come with us for cleansing. No, Lion said. A soldier moved to seize her. Elias intercepted, a blur of motion twisting the soldier's wrist. The second soldier raised his rifle. Enough, the overseer snapped. You would threaten an officer for this? Echo of impurity? Lion, unsteady on the braces, pushed herself forward. You wanted proof of impurity? Her voice rose, strong and sharp. Then look at me. I'm still standing. This is the moment. The instant a rigid system fractures against a simple, impossible truth. The overseer recoiled. Blasphemy. Truth, Lion answered. The soldiers hesitated. Elias seized the opening. Leave, he told the overseer, or stay and explain to your council why your sacred release failed. Checkmate. An investigation would expose the pod's malfunction, the falsified death record, the embarrassment. The overseer retreated, spitting a final word. Exile, Lion met her gaze. I'm done seeking permission to exist. The skimmer vanished. Elias deleted the surveillance footage. You stood, he said, his voice rough. He offered her a future in the northern sectors, a new identity. And you? She asked. Alone again? He faltered. You shouldn't tie your future to someone who can't leave. Maybe, she said softly. I'm done leaving. The next morning she walked without the braces. They stood by the river, now calm and golden. I wanted to hate you for it, Lion confessed. Pity, arrogance, but you just kept showing up. You made it easy to show up. You make it hard to leave. She stepped closer. I want to build a life with someone who doesn't look away. He looked at her, truly seeing the fire no ritual could extinguish. If we stay here, it won't be easy. Nothing worth having is, she smiled. She spotted the wreckage of the pod against the rocks. I want to finish it, she said. On my terms. They walked to the bank. She took the largest fragment of glass and set it in the current. It flashed in the sun, then was gone. It's done, he said. No, she replied. It's beginning. Back inside, Elias looked at the glowing screens, the endless, meaningless data. He switched them all off. The resulting silence was full, alive. What will you do now? She asked. Maybe stop measuring things, he said, turning to her. Maybe start living them. He reached for her hand. Welcome home, you too, she whispered. The river, once a grave, flowed on.